Hello everyone and a very warm welcome. In this tutorial, we are going to learn about an interesting feature that is watermarking and security on Open. If you are looking for a software where you can secure your documents directly in SharePoint, then this is the video for you. Here, if you see that I clicked on a document, and it opens with a watermark. This watermark can be configured. You can have user profile properties and even custom columns if needed. When I try to print it, I cannot print it. You don't believe me? Let me go ahead and download a copy of the document and open it in. So this also works when the document has been downloaded. When I try to print the document using my client machine, you see that it will prompt me for a password, so the security has been applied. In the document properties, I have applied restriction. It's restricting printing, changing of documents, copying of contents, extracting pages, commenting, filling form fields, signing, and much more. So if you're looking for a tool in SharePoint, let's configure it together. Let's get into the configuration and installation video. So to install the product, I go into the website, click on the integrations, and under products, I will select the SharePoint integration. Here, I will say start for free. I will click on SharePoint Online. I will put in my first name, last name, the email address, and click on get a link. I can download the installer directly. I will navigate to the installation folder or the folder that holds the installation file. This is how it looks like. In this, I will find an installation guide. Next, what I want to do is I want to follow the guide. So the first step would be to configure an app registration so that I can do the installation using PowerShell. The dependency is you need to create app registration. So I'll give it the name Nutrient SPFX for document converter, and I will click on register. Next, I want to create few certificates. The certificates will be used to communicate between my client desktop. So here I have the PowerShell. I will paste in the script that was there on the previous screen. And I will save the script. I'll give the script a meaningful name, create self-signed certificate. I will give it a common name, Nutrient DOCS SPFX, and a start date and an end date. I will change the directory and navigate to the directory where the certificate or where the PowerShell script has been saved. So it's on my downloads folder, and I'll cd into it. So I'll change the path which holds the script. And then I can simply run the script and it will ask me for a private key. It is a key that is used to secure my certificate. It creates two files, the PFX file and the cert file. And then I upload it. And next what I'll do is that I'll upload the CER file. And I'll put in a description. This is for installation purpose only, and this application can in fact be deleted after the configuration is done. Okay, so this is a part of the prerequisite for the installation. Now that I have the certificate imported, the next step would be to give some permissions for the installation to happen. If you see out here, I will click on add permission. I'll click on Microsoft Graph, application permission, and I will type in sites. I'll expand it and I'll give it sites.fullcontrol. And I'll click on add permission. Similarly, I will add another permission under the graph, application permission again, and I'll type in users.all. I'll use user.read.all. The permission has been granted. The next permission would be SharePoint-related permissions. I'll again give it application permission. And the permission that I want to give is And the permission that I want to give is sites dot full control dot all. And I'll also give it user.read.all. I'll grant admin consent on behalf of the organization. And I will click yes. At this point, my app registration, which will be used for installation only, has been configured. Next, what I want to do is open PowerShell 7 as an administrator. So if you don't have PowerShell 7, please install it. Here, what I want to do is, firstly, I want to change. Here, I will change the path which holds the script for the installation. And that's good. So I have navigated to the folder which holds the installation script. And I will try to run the script which is here. Yes. Oh, I get an error. The error tells me the script is not digitally signed. Do you trust it? And I don't have a execution policy in place. So let me set up the execution policy. So I will say set execution policy, remote signed process, scope will be process and force. Next, I will just clear my PowerShell screen. There's a lot of things going on. So let's start it from a clean slate. Actually run the script again, and let's hope that this time we don't get an error. Perfect. So here you have been greeted with a set of instructions on the installation. So I will say 1 and the installation starts, which is starting a fresh installation. Second, it tells me, do you want to upload the app to the tenant app catalog or the site app catalog? I'll say the tenant app catalog, that is number 1. So here it will ask me for a SharePoint URL. So let me give it the SharePoint URL. Next, it will ask me for the Azure App Registration client ID. So let me divide my screen and let's copy the application ID. That's the first thing that it's going to ask, the full path of the self-signed certificate. So I need to get the path of my PFX. I removed the double quotes and I'm entering my password. So remember, you don't need to add double quotes when you put in the full path of the PFX file. Next, it is asking me for my Azure AD tenant ID directory, and I can copy. Let me go back into PowerShell. And let me paste in the Azure tenant domain. At this point, it tells me that my SharePoint tenant doesn't have an app catalog. So I need to first go ahead and actually check if I have an app catalog in place. So if you don't have an app catalog, it's a prerequisite. You need to go ahead and create one. So I am into my SharePoint Admin Center. I will click on the advanced. I'll click on more features. I'll click on apps and I'll click on open. So here you see that I didn't have an app catalog because this is a new tenant. If you already have an app catalog, then you should not get the error message. But this is a good learning. If you don't have an app catalog, please create one. So the app catalog is created. So let's start the installation again. I'll type in 1. That is the fresh installation. I will select option 1 and I will tell it to upload in the SharePoint App Catalog. I'll give it the SharePoint URL, and at this point it detected the app catalog and it will ask, and it's uploading the app. Okay, the app has been uploaded, so that's good, but I have a different error on my screen. So that's all right. If this error comes in, don't panic. We will check if it has been deployed. So don't panic. I'll delete the app and I'll start again. Understand this, this only happens because we created the app catalog newly. So I will say install it and I'll give it my SharePoint URL out here. So that's good for the app catalog. It's uploading the app and it tells me, do you want to deploy the app to all sites? And I'll say no again, but you see that this time it's trying to deploy the app. Previously, we just got an error. So it's just because SharePoint is slow. So it tells me the app has been deployed but not installed in any sites. Do you want to install the app in a specific site? I will say yes, I want to install the app only to a specific site. So I will navigate to the root site and I want to deploy it to the root site. If you have a specific site collection, you can paste it here. But here I again messed up. You need to first say that yes, I want to deploy it to a specific site. Right? Let me adjust the PowerShell prompt and say yes and hit enter. So here, my friends, it tells me that the app has been installed, but it could not give the permissions that are required by the SPFX. So this is a known problem. You need to go ahead and give the permissions manually. But go ahead and continue with the installation and let's create the web part page. I'll create the web part page. I will say that create the web part page in the root site or the site that I have created. And here, my friends, the web part page has been created successfully. So let's go back and look at the permissions problem. So I'm in my admin center. And the most important bit is to give access to our application that we just installed. So I'll select it and I need to give the Muhimbi PDF converter, which is now Nutrient, the access. So now under the site on which I have installed the app and created a page, let me navigate to the page. And here you see that I have the Muhimbi features page. On this page, the web part is added. I'll say get started. It will ask me for the permissions, so I will grant or accept the permissions. Again, don't worry, this is a red herring. You just get the error the first time. If you get the error, just go ahead and refresh the page and the page should come up. So that's interesting and that's good. So now that the installation has happened, let me upload a docx file or any other file type other than PDF. So I have uploaded a file. Let me click on the three dots and you see that there is a convert to PDF button. So this is one of the integrations that we provide, that is UI-based conversion. So I will type in my company name and my email address. So the subscription is waiting for activation. So I should navigate to my email and search for the email that has been triggered by Nutrient or Muhimbi. So here you see that there's an email from Nutrient, which was previously Muhimbi. And I can say activate the subscription. Once I complete the activation, another email comes in, which will have the API key. But let's continue with the installation. I will click on convert and now you don't get that activation error and you can convert a file to PDF right from your SharePoint. So the file has completed the conversion. I can go to the destination library and see that the file has been converted. Now that's good, but we need to configure the real-time watermarking. For that, we go back to the installation script or the PowerShell where the installation script has been running. So this time I will make another selection. I will select number 12. It tells me that I should have SharePoint Online Management Shell to SharePoint. So I should be a SharePoint admin. So let me go and try to find the SharePoint management shell. I already have it installed, but you can install it using the PowerShell command. So this is the PowerShell that I was talking about, SharePoint Online Management Shell. So let me take this on the screen and let me first enable custom script. So to use the commands in SharePoint Online Management Shell, the first thing that I need to do is, so this is the article, how to enable custom script in SharePoint Online. The command is connect SPO service URL, your tenant URL, that is your admin URL, okay? So your SharePoint admin URL is required. And the second one is set SPO service. You need to give it identity. That is your site identity. So let me quickly copy my tenant URL. So here I'll say connect SPO service, my SharePoint admin URL. It will prompt me for credentials. I will use my credentials out here. I just need to type it in. So I need to authenticate. I have got the authenticator app. Let me quickly go ahead and authenticate and approve the sign-in request. So now that I have authenticated, let's get into the next command. We need to set the SPO site, give it the identity, the site collection URL, and say deny, add, and put in a flag, deny add custom pages to 0. Now that the script or the custom script has been installed, the next step would be to click number 8. That is, I want to elevate the SharePoint Online app on a specific site. So it will ask me for the URL. So let me quickly put in the URL. Perfect. So this time I see that it has succeeded. So the app has been elevated. It tells me if you want to enable custom script, which has already been enabled, which I'll say yes. So that's good. At this point, if I go back to the app page, you should see a difference. Let's see if you notice it. So you see the left-hand side menus out here, which was previously not there. The reason it was not there, it will only be visible after you have activated the subscription. And after elevation, you can access the features. The features will look the same as you have it on the screen. Let's activate the automatic document processing feature. The feature has been activated. I navigate back to the site collection. I navigate into the site settings. So I go to site contents first and then go into the site settings. And here you should see some additional links such as Muhimbi security settings and Muhimbi watermarking settings. I'll click on Muhimbi watermarking settings page, and here is where I can configure the watermarks. So I'll say allow overriding. I can select the type text watermark. And here you can configure the watermarks. So let me open the article and let me configure a watermark real quick. I'll use a simple little watermark which tells the name of the user that has opened the document, date, long date, and the IP address. I'll change the size to 14, that is the font size, and I will say make it bold, italic, underline, and strikeout. And I will also select all the file types such as PDF, DOCX, and XLSX. And I'll click on OK. At this point, I can navigate to the document library where I want to enable watermarking. I'll go into the library settings, more library settings. And here also, you should see some additional links, that is the Muhimbi watermarking and security settings. I'll click on Muhimbi watermarking settings. The page is opening. So here I will click on Inherit Settings, Enable Watermarking.
Technically, it should just inherit the watermark that we set up. That's perfect. And I'll hit OK. So our watermarking has been configured. Next, what we need to do is we need to quickly test it. So I'll go back into the document library and I'll quickly open a file and see if the watermarking is working as open. So here you see that the watermark has been created but is truncated, so something not right. So let's fix that as well. It's clear that today the demagogues are not pretty happy with me because I'm getting some bizarre problems. But don't worry, this is about learning and we will fix it. So I'll go into the watermarking settings for the site collection and let me quickly see what the problem is. So what I think is that the width and the height is less. So we'll change it to 600 by 600. We'll hit OK. It should automatically inherit in the document library. So that should be fine. At this point, if I click on the same document again, I see the watermark. So congratulations, you have configured real-time watermarking in SharePoint Online.